Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Thank you all for joining me today. So today's video is a primer declutter. I have gathered way too many primers here. I stick to really two basic primers. I need one that's moisturizing and one that blurs pores and minimizes pores. So what I want to do is stick to the ones I know I love. So at the top here, I have Drugstore, and at the bottom, I have High End. So if you want to see what I'm going to declutter, please stay tuned. Okay, let's start with the Drugstore. So I have this one here. This is from Believe Beauty, which is available at Dollar General. This is the Pretty and Primed Hydrating Primer. So I haven't chosen this out of my collection to put in my everyday makeup drawers for several months, and it's just not something I'm reaching for as often. So this one I'm going to declutter. This one here, the next one, is the NYX Marshmallow Primer. So this is a nice primer. I really enjoy this one. It does hydrate, and I find that it can help minimize the pores a bit. So I really enjoy this. I'm going to keep that one. And then another NYX primer that I love and I'm going to keep is the NYX Pore Filler Targeted Stick. This is great. I just put it all over those enlarged pores and tap it in with my ring finger. And this really does a nice job of filling in those pores and making them blur. It's really nice. I'm going to keep that. The next one I have is from Maybelline. This is the Rose Prep and Brighten Face Oil. I have dry skin, so on days when I know I'm going to be using more of a semi-matte foundation, I like to use the face oil, because it adds a level of moisture that my skin's going to need to let the foundation just blend on top very seamlessly. So, and this I have not had very long, so I'm gonna keep that. Now, along the same lines of the Milani, this is the Brighter Side Illuminating Primer with vitamin C and provitamin B5. This is a wonderful primer. It hydrates and it gives your skin a nice glow before you apply foundation. I'm going to keep that. And the next one is this one. This is the Pixi Rose Flash Balm. This is a wonderful primer. This is something that you can use alone, or you can use it as a base before makeup. It is extremely hydrating, and the glow that this gives your skin is just really beautiful. Keeping that. Now here's one that I'm going to declutter. This is the Maybelline Profector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup. This is supposed to be like a foundation and a primer and an illuminator, like all in one. I find that I just don't reach for this. I used it probably half a dozen times when I first bought it, but I haven't pulled it out since. So this is going to be decluttered. Then I have 3 Revlon products here. This one is the Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing. This is more of your blurring primer. I have several blurring primers. This one, I just don't reach for it. It's a very good primer, but I'm just not reaching for it, so I'm going to pass that on. And then continuing with Revlon, I have 2 here, both very similar, so I don't need both of these. First off, I have the Rose Glow Face Gloss, which luminizes and hydrates, and it does that. It does have a slight rose scent, which is lovely. I love the rose fragrance. And this is very nice, and I like that one. And then I have this one here. This is the Rose Glow Hydrating and Illuminating Primer. So one's a face gloss and one is the primer. I don't need both of these. This one is 80% water, so I find that this one is probably going to be more hydrating. Their ingredients are very similar, but I don't need both of these. I think what I'm going to do is keep the face glow and and declutter the face gloss. And then the last drugstore one that I have here is from e.l.f. This is the Luminous Putty Primer. Now, this is a very nice primer if you don't have a lot of enlarged pores. Now, as a mature woman, as you age, the skin drags, which causes your pores to become enlarged. But I find the luminous version, as nice as it looks on the skin, it doesn't do a great job of blurring the pores. My favorite e.l.f. primer is the regular original putty primer. In fact, I just got one in the e.l.f. mystery bundle. I'll put that unboxing down in the description box and in the eye above. That one's a very good, that's a very good primer. This one is very nice. I have a lot of like luminous primers, and I really don't need this one, so I'm going to pass that on. Now the rest of these are all high-end. There are 2 full-size and the rest are minis. The first one I have here is the Farsali Liquid Glass, what is this called? Serum. It is a serum, but it's really a priming serum. This is really nice. Let's take a look and see. That's what it looks like. Yeah, that's very glowy. Look at that. Really nice. As I said, though, I've got a lot of glowy primers, so this one I think I'm just going to pass on. So that's going to be decluttered. This is the next one. This is from Benefit. This is actually full size. This is the Porefessional Hydrating Primer. I do like this one. It does tend to blur the pores just a bit, and it's very hydrating, so I will keep that one. This one I got in an advent calendar that I unboxed in December. This is the Instant Soft Focus Beauty Glow Primer. I've probably only used this a couple of times. It's not one I tend to reach for, so I am going to pass that on. Then I have a travel size of this one. This is from Laura Mercier. This is the Pure Canvas Primer in Blurring. So this is another nice primer. This is a blurring primer, and this is very nice. It blurs the pores very nicely. I tend to use a very moisturizing primer when I use this. I put the moisturizing primer on first, and then I go in with a blurring primer after that. And this is very nice. I'm going to keep that. And then we have this one here. This is the Smashbox Primerizer. This is just a travel size here. This is a wonderful priming moisturizer, but I just don't need it. I have several hydrating primers, and I just find I don't reach for this one, so that's going to be decluttered. This one is probably one of my all-time favorites. This is from First Aid Beauty. This is the Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. This is a prime example of two primers that are very similar. This one is very nice, and this one is very nice, but I have to say I like the First Aid Beauty just a bit better, so I'm going to keep this one. And then I have this from Too Faced. This is the Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer with coconut water, probiotic-based ingredients, and skin revivers, and it's silicone-free. Another nice hydrating primer, but I already have a few, and I really don't need this one, so I'm going to pass that on. Then I have these 2 sort of sample sizes that I received. One is from Guerlain, and one is from YSL. So this is the Guerlain Radiance Concentrate with Pure Gold. It's a hydrating primer that has a nice gold flake in there, which can add some nice luminosity. This is something I just put in my everyday makeup drawer. So I have not had these very long, and I do want to test these out. So I will keep that one and put it back in my everyday makeup drawer. And the same with this one. This is the Touche Éclat Blurring Primer. So these 2 I will wear together. Again, I will wear the luminous hydrating one first, and then I will apply the blurring primer just to those areas that have enlarged pores. So these 2 are going back in my everyday makeup drawer to test out. They're very expensive primers, so I will probably end up purchasing a small size of whichever one I liked the best. Now we have this one from Rare Beauty. This is the Always an Optimist Illuminating Primer Base. Again, this is like a travel size. I find that I don't reach for this. I have several illuminating primers, so this is going to be decluttered. And lastly, this is a favorite of mine. This is the Hollywood Flawless Filter, again a travel size. This is in Fair. This is beautiful. I'm about halfway done with this one. And this is a lovely primer, very hydrating and very glowy. And I love this. I'm going to keep it. So now let's see how many I'm decluttering versus keeping. So I'm decluttering 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm only decluttering 10, and I'm keeping 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and I'm keeping 12. That's just, I am decluttering just under half. So that's actually not that bad, because when I look at all the primers that I'm keeping, I really kind of look at that and say, geez, I like, with the exception of these 2 that I'm testing out, I love every one of these. And this is the only one I have that does both and does both pretty well. So I'm actually quite happy with that. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it at this. I'm decluttering 10 and I'm keeping 12. So almost half of my collection is going. Which I'm satisfied with that. If you enjoyed this and you found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Please subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you're advised of all my future uploads. Feel free to share this video and please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this declutter, and if you have any primers in your collection that you are really enjoying, please leave that in the comments down below as well. I love seeing the products that you are using, and it gives me influence to try some new things as well. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.